the Gulf War of 1990 was so important on so many levels because it was probably the most, it was like a Mike Tyson first round knockout of an opponent. It was the most spectacular U.S. military performance probably in history in terms of the speed and efficiency of what we did and how we did it and the alliances that we built up before the war. After the famous moniker after the war was, we finally kicked the Vietnam syndrome, so to say, because of course after Vietnam, right? And I want to say something about Vietnam because the Vietnam generation is very near and dear to my heart. I think probably for more than any other reason is that the Vietnam War outcome was not what it could have been. It was a very sad outcome, but it was not because of the warrior and the American soldier sailor that fought in Vietnam. They were just as good, if not better than any other generation. What they accomplished out there. It was a tough, complex war, right? But the fact of the matter is that it was just a tough rap. When the Gulf War happened, just people felt better overall about our military and about a lot of things. And then following the Gulf War, in the 1990s, especially following the Clinton's election, I think the nation did shift. I think we started losing focus on national security. Remember the 1992 election, Clinton's famous campaign slogan, "It's the economy," and of course we had a great economic decade during the Clinton administration. But then obviously going into 2000, 2001, we had the USS Cole attack. I still vividly remember the Cole attack because the church that I was attending at the time, there was a service member who was on board whose family attended our church. So it got a lot of publicity and attention. The fact that the service member survived and they attended a church service when they came back from that attack. But yeah, I think that all these events started, I was paying a lot of attention, even as a teenager, right? As an engaged teenager into world affairs, into these events, ultimately going into when I enlisted.
When you went to the recruiter and you were making this decision to serve your country, maybe get a chance to see a different part of the world, maybe do something different after, because you did a year of college and that wasn't really what you wanted to do. Did you know you wanted to get into the medical field? Because, my dad was a corpsman. And when I joined the Navy, he was like, don't do medicine. Don't do medicine. Right. But did you know you wanted to get into medicine?
So yes, I did. I was very interested in being a corpsman. I knew a little bit about the corpsman rating. What I think was a little, to be totally frank, what was kind of nerve-wracking about me, at least, and a lot of other sailors who were going to be corpsmen and fixing to go to Corps school, was the knowledge of the responsibility of being in charge of Marine Corps units. But I would say a high percentage of hospital corpsmen, when they become corpsmen, some go to clinical settings like hospitals and clinics. It's probably the most diverse rating, not just in the Navy, probably in the entire armed forces, right?